here's the deal. If you're lazy, if you have no willpower, if you don't dream anymore of a better life, well, welcome to your America. The Democrats have a plan to make sure those Americans who are struggling here stay that way. This massive $2 trillion spending bill has nothing to do with the China virus and everything to do with repackaging welfare, again, expanding it. It is now headed to the Senate, that bill is. It's as if the Democrats pulled this plan straight out of the 1970s. The bill offers up to $350 per month per child in the form of a cash grant with no work requirements. Marco Rubio, the senator there, calls it a Washington special. Give it really a good name, right? Linked it to something that everyone supports, like COVID relief. Then stick everything that you can possible into the bill. It is a classic bait and switch. Lawmakers don't want to be seen voting against so-called COVID relief, so every pet project, in this case, every socialist scheme, gets slipped into the bill and ultimately, I fear, passed.
I'm not going to get punked into voting for a bill that helps Pelosi bail out California, that helps Schumer bail out the predator governor of New York, but does nothing to help you and help our country. That I'm not going to get punked into voting for.
Well, be prepared for 50 Democrats and one vice president to get punked into voting for. I want to take you back, though, to 1996, okay? That was when House Speaker Newt Gingrich basically killed America's runaway welfare system by putting a 5-year limit on federal aid. Congress added work requirements to getting aid. In short, they took all the incentive to be on welfare away. And as you can imagine, back then, the Democrats predicted the end of times.
To cut off the federal commitment that we've had for 60 years is on the edge of mindless.
I suspect Los Angeles County will be the county most impacted by the passage of this bill.
This bill says that it doesn't matter how bad things are, how destitute, how sick, how poor kids may be. Kids of any age, 6 months or 6 years, are going to have to fend for themselves.
So you hear all those dire warnings, but guess what happened? Look, we're getting the same dire warnings now. Here's what happened back in 1996 and the years after. The welfare caseload fell by half. Single moms went to work in unprecedented numbers. The poverty rate plummeted. By 2019, child poverty hit record low numbers in America. And now the Democrats want to turn back the clock on all of that success.
The Biden American Rescue Plan, money in the pockets of the American people, children in school safely, and workers back into their jobs, among other things.
And the people of this country have suffered far too much for too long. We need to relieve that suffering. The American Rescue Plan does just that.
That's what this is all about, and we're here today to tell them that help is on the way.
Our message to the American people is very simple. Help is on the way.
Yeah, well, my message to my 11-year-old is you are screwed when we have to pay for all this. The Democrats want to buy the votes of the poor right now. You know how they're doing it? By keeping them poor. But this bill gets worse. It's not just a return to welfare, but a return to out-of-control pork barrel spending. Yes, the Senate just stripped the bill that included a $140 million for a San Francisco tunnel being pushed by Nancy Pelosi. But there's plenty of more waste in there to go around. There's at least $50 million, probably more when you add it all up, going to Planned Parenthood, an organization that raises millions of dollars from Hollywood, right? Why does it need our taxpayer money? It doesn't. $570 million goes to federal employees for paid leave. $1,400 a week they get if they have to care for their kids at home. What about all of us who care for our kids at home? The message is, work for the government, we will take care of you. Sound familiar, right? And how about the teachers' unions? The ones fighting to keep schools closed? Well, they'll get access up to $10 million per union. And these are the very people fighting to keep our kids out of school. There is not much in this bill that makes any sense, to me at least. Only about 9% of it goes to virus-related health care. But that's what you get when Democrats have a stranglehold on Washington, D.C.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, where real news for real people.